We are back here at the MVP show here at Podcast Junkies in Boca Raton.
Yeah.
Let's go, everyone. What a jam-packed weekend. I mean, there's tons to touch about. I mean, the Super Bowl. You'll see in a second to my friend to the left of me what happened, unfortunately, when you bet on the Chiefs for the Super Bowl. But then again, nobody really saw that happening. But tons to talk about. We have a special guest today as well we'll get to. But let's dive right into it. To the left of me, you might know him as Sweiss, but he lost his bet, and now he's bald. My eyes!
That's oh, come on.
Sweiss, you actually look great as a bald guy.
We'll see if the ladies like it. Maybe we'll keep it. I don't know. The Jewish bald guy might be a new thing.
I mean, it could be.
We'll see.
Here, pop out the star with that, too.
The star with it? Yeah, we got the star. Yeah.
You actually look good. I like you with the bald head. The more I immediately saw you, I started laughing, and then Mons was like, wait, he's actually pretty good looking. And then I was like,
we're getting good feedback
right,
today.
Yeah, I was like, it looks good.
But hey, I said I was going to do it. I did it. Next year, if they win again, I'll do a Brazilian wax. I'll say it on camera right now.
Brazilian wax?
Yeah, whatever that entails.
I mean, that's like...
do you know what that is?
I don't know.
How do you prove it on the podcast that you actually got the Brazilian wax?
Yeah.
We can have a girl look. I don't know.
Okay. That's going to be... Yeah, I don't know if they want to. I mean, that...
I was just thinking more of the chest than the back. I mean, the Eagles aren't winning next year again, so it's fine.
Yeah, I don't think that's a Brazilian wax.
That's different.
Well, whatever. We'll do that. But yeah, in terms of this punishment, I mean, Eagles shoved it right to me. Didn't get overtime, so Matt was there last year with me. I was a lot happier in the Super Bowl. This year was just overall just terrible game. Kendrick sucked, so I know we'll dive into it.
Yeah, we're gonna dive into it a little bit, but yeah, thank you for being good sport. We love your bald head. But yeah,
what do we think? What do we think over under in terms of time it grows back into like a reasonable length?
Oh my God, I just saw the back of it right now. That's crazy. It's so bald.
That would be, there's a lot of bald guys in this world. We were friends with some of them, so.
Yeah, no, we like the bald Jews. You're the first, but anyway, real quick, we'll dive more back to your baldness. Sure. To the left of Sweiss is the man, the myth, the legend, Mons.
What's going on?
Mons, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was big handshake.
Yeah,
big hand.
hey, good W. Good job, sir.
We needed that.
We won.
Anybody
Kareem Hunt died.
We were sweating out a side bet from a client that we work with. He had Chiefs money line and Kareem Hunt to score, parlayed them together.
Wasn't even close.
Laid like $1,500 on it or something. So it was going to be a almost $5,000 payout for Ray and I, but none of it happened.
Yeah.
Neither leg even came
You know
close.
what? We just scratch it like nothing ever happened, and you know what? I'm fine with that too. And in my book, that's a win. So not paying out is a win.
It's a win.
Always.
And you know what? Even as cranky as Simon wanted to be, and we're watching the game, and he's all in the Chiefs and his Chiefs futures, and Ray and I are celebrating not having to shell out $2,500 each out of pocket. He's like,
nah, like, you guys didn't even win. You just saved money. Like, it's not a win.
I mean, it's not.
It's a win.
It's a win.
Oh, come on, Ted.
Hey,
Agree with this shit?
Hey, if it's about money, it's a win.
It's a
right?
win.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We saved money.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, congrats.
And also compliment to you too. You literally came from from a legitimate car accident to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's
no,
insane.
Just real quick, Jersey boy here, so I actually know how to drive. Floridians, when you have a stop sign, stay stopped at the stop sign. Like, don't just creep out when a car's coming 30 or 40 and is 2 feet away from you, because you're gonna get plowed. And
Yeah.
that's what
Sorry,
happened.
the word plowed.
You know, ran 1,500 coming at you, 30 miles an hour. Yeah, you're gonna get hit hard.
And I know that this is a sports betting podcast, but I just want to emphasize that and possibly make a clip out of just Florida driving in general off that.
Florida sucks. Florida sucks. People don't know how to drive here, and that's a fact.
It's absolute trash.
Anyway.
Yeah, we'll dive in a little bit too. But now for our guest today, he is the co-founder of Winnable. He is the man, the myth. Well, you're just the man at this point,
Yeah,
Dan.
I don't know about the myth.
Yeah, no, the myth. You could be. You could be. You have some stories, my friend.
I do.
But you, to the right of me, we got Dan Sands.
Yeah, Dad.
Happy to be here, guys.
Shout out Winnable.
Shout out Winnable.
Yep. Big fan of the show. for a long time. First time guest. Very exciting.
We've been trying to make this happen for a minute, man.
I know, and finally making it happen.
Right before your move.
It was a long journey for me this morning to get here, but I made it.
Where do you live again?
I live across the street.
No, we got you in right before your big move, so
Yeah.
good timing.
Yeah, that's good timing. I'm sorry for your busy schedule. I know it's long travel for you. But I'm just happy you're here. But let's dive into a little bit about the weekend. Let's talk about the weekend, then we'll start talking about a little bit about Winnable, your platform, how everything started, because we're on Winnable now and we're having great success, and I know it's going to continue not just for us but for the platform.
Hope so.
But real quick, who did you have for the Super Bowl day?
I had the Eagles.
You had the Eagles,
and I'm a Giants fan, so I took no joy in this, but I just felt like the teams were so unmatched. It was an obvious play on the Eagles. I don't know how somebody could take the Chiefs.
That's crazy.
Watching football every week and seeing this team barely eke out wins all year. The Eagles were just dominant. They got hot at the right time. They had the defense. They had, obviously those stars on offense. I just knew it was going to be a blowout.
So you knew it was going to be a blowout, because
Yeah.
I think, was it you that I talked to? There was one person, it might have been you prior to that week, where someone said it's either the Chiefs are going to win a very close game or the Eagles win a blowout.
Yeah,
like
that was
no
me.
in between.
Yep. I
Nuts.
I thought that if the Chiefs could keep it close, they got to the fourth quarter, Pat Mahomes within one score, they just have that magic. But, if the Eagles, I thought, would blow them out, and that's what happened.
Yeah, that's insane to call, because what was it, 24-0 at halftime?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Something like that.
Yeah, that was stupid.
No words.
And then that's when everyone thought Patrick Mahomes was going to pull a Brady moment and be like, wait, he's still the GOAT. He's catching up to Brady. Well, not anymore. He fucking lost. So Brady is still the GOAT.
Yeah.
That would have hurt Brady's legacy. I know
Eli beat Brady twice, though. Don't and Eli got snubbed. I want to talk about that a little bit.
I want to talk about
that.
Yeah, what happened with that?
Very upset.
I'm not
Whenever
an
you're
Eli
ready to
guy,
talk
but-
about that, I'd love
No,
to.
let's bring it up. We're on the
bring it
subject
up.
right now. Let's bring it
Eli
up.
Manning
It's not
is
a first.
in the top
No.
in the top 10 in almost every single passing category. Won 2 Super Bowls, beat the GOAT, as you call him.
Never got
and
injured. He played like
never
every
got hurt.
game.
He played every game. He actually played every game until they benched him for
Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
Which became
But yeah, he got snubbed. He
Wasn't
should
it
have been.
Geno Smith, actually? Wasn't it even more disrespectful than
Yeah,
Daniel Jones?
You know what? It
Geno.
might have been Geno
It was
first.
Geno
You might be
Smith.
That's
right. And like,
crazy.
Jones
And then
was
Gino
not
was
even-
that's still mad
resurrected
too.
after in Seattle.
Out of nowhere.
But
Yeah, but Eli, greatest giant quarterback of all time.
It's hard to argue that.
He
actually.
really, yeah.
It's
Like,
hard to
look,
argue that, honestly.
Phil Simms, I believe, was like a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, how is Eli not? So,
That's fair enough.
yeah.
Well, for at least the Giants, to switch over from being a Giants fan to picking the Eagles is kind of crazy. But you did it for betting purposes, and
That's what you do, betting.
You're a betting man, Dan.
I am a betting man. It's our business, and when it comes down to it, you gotta take that fanhood aside and make money.
Yeah.
Right? Money matters. It is a win if you win or save money.
So you just laid out a good blueprint, at least why you picked the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. Now I'm going to look to the left of me, Simon. What was your thoughts going in there that you thought the Chiefs were going to win?
I said on the show last week, the Eagles have a better roster. They always have all year. It's the coaching and the quarterback, and the O-line just shit the bed for the Chiefs, and it wasn't a close game. So if it was a close game, Chiefs, but it was a blowout, and they went through the shitty NFC. I mean, they killed the Commanders. They didn't really play great teams there. I thought the Chiefs had a much tougher road to get through, and you got to eat it on the chin. And I stayed for the whole game, unlike somebody who left the UFC fights early after having a rough night.
Once again, we said we wouldn't talk
we're not talking about that.
But once again, that wasn't for the purpose of the fight. But all right, switching back, Mods. I know we wanted the Eagles to win, but did you feel as if the Eagles would win, or did you feel it was going to be a close game? Because let's put it this way. After the pick 6, I think me and you went from like, oh, it's going to be a close game to like, we took a deep breath and was like, thank fucking God.
yeah, no. I didn't relax until DeJean's pick 6.
Yeah.
And
What
after
was the
pick
score at that point? 24?
10-0.
No,
10-0. It was 17-0.
17-0 after the pick 6.
yeah.
I started to relax a little bit. But then, like Simon, I will say, he's right next to me, and he's like, Mahomes' 2-minute drill here. It's going to be 17-7. Chiefs get the ball at half, come out of half, score 17-14 in the blink of an eye. And then Mahomes threw another pick, and the Eagles scored again. And I just started going like, fuck you, Simon, fuck you. Who do you think you are? I am. Like,
Greatest quote of all time, by the way.
I'm just giving Simon the riot act with one of our clients. Shout out Boca Jets, Bob. And,
Bob.
you know, he was just giving it to him, calling him Moishi and a bunch of other Jewish names and stuff. So poor Simon, you know, now he's Moishi and still Jewish and now bald too. And, so back to your original question.
Yeah.
Get sidetracked. On
Yeah,
those
you're
Jew
like,
jokes.
you're like, Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a second. I think I have to step in and defend Simon as the other Jew on this panel today.
Yeah, thank
like,
you.
What
Thank
are we
you.
do? Wait, what are we
Are
doing
you
here?
bald, though?
I'm not bald.
All right,
no,
so,
yeah,
yeah,
no,
so
no.
you have
I have
you're-
beautiful Jewish.
I love how everyone else on here is wearing hats currently. Also, who the fuck drinks popsicle zero shirt? What the fuck is this shit?
All right, now you're just going at Mons.
Yeah.
For
Now
no
you're-
reason.
And also,
C4
I'm
makes it very
repping
good.
literally the company. So I mean, and so
Figuratively.
is Dan. So is Dan.
it.
So as you should have. No, but I get it.
No,
You're
no,
showing off-
I gotta show it off.
You're
today.
showing off the shine.
I'm wearing
So-
the polos still. We're good.
No, that's great. But any takeaways from this season? Your success on Winnable. I know that like I said, it's a growing platform. Of course, with us, we'll dive a little bit more into Winnable. But any success that has led from this season that you're looking forward to, at least for the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, NFL, we had obviously month after month our biggest month. You know, every month of this NFL season. We're only 2 years old, so this was kind of expected. Our biggest week, this Super Bowl week we've ever had. NFL was exciting. Now, you know, hopefully we have a good platform of cappers that are going to be selling NBA, NHL, MLB when it comes, and we'll continue to see that growth. And, you know, hopefully by next NFL season, it's, you know, another hockey stick trajectory.
Yeah, no, that's good. And you were also at the Better Party in Miami. How was that, real
It was-
quick? Because we were talking about that.
Yeah, it was fun. I wanted to bring you guys. I should have brought you guys.
That's crazy, Dan.
Yeah. No,
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
I talked about it, but like, you know, they were like, oh, it's a very intimate party and small guest lists. And then once you showed up, it seemed like a free for all. Like anyone was
It's one of
walking in.
those.
I'm sure Better will have another party.
Yeah, they will. But they were great hosts. Shout out to Better. Thanks for inviting us. Jake Paul, nice guy. You know,
Was he there?
Oh yeah, he was there, and he's a really nice guy. He was like holding a baby the whole time, not his baby, but he, you know, just seems like
There's some red flags to that.
No,
right there,
not
Dan.
at all,
I don't
not at
know.
all. I think it just shows he's like a sweetheart. You know, he's like this tough guy, but he's a nice guy.
You're just kissing babies?
Kissing
Just
babies, shaking hands, taking pictures with people.
Did he win his bets?
I have no idea. Well, I know he was betting the Eagles. I remember seeing something that he was like, I'm going to buy something for Saquon, a Ferrari, if they won or something like that. And
I don't think fucking Saquon needs to be bought a Ferrari.
No,
by
but you know
anyone,
what?
so.
Even if you have money, it's so nice to get free
Well,
stuff.
actually, I kind of want to roast someone else on the panel for being a Giants fan because how bad do you feel that Saquon won?
I'm happy for him. I feel bad about
Mara?
our organization. You know, like just being a fan. My son that's on his way, like he's gonna have to be a Giants fan now, and it's just a sad.
But like
existence.
the whole thing for me last year was the Hard Knocks with Mara and just being like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep at night.
I know.
if he fucking
It
comes
was
in.
foreshadowing like this happening.
A few of my boys from Jersey, they were saying like this was the worst possible season to be like.
Yeah.
It might go down in the history books as one of the worst Giants seasons of all time.
Yeah,
And it's true.
And it was like the 100-year anniversary, something like that. 50 year? No, it was 100.
Yeah.
100 year. Hey, only up from here. We
Yeah.
can only go up.
You're ready for the
It's
draft.
Would I rather
Dan's ready
be-
for the
I'm
draft.
ready for the draft. Would I was talking about this with someone the other day. Like, would I rather be a Cowboys fan right now?
No, you guys are in a better
no,
situation.
we can
guys are.
rebuild.
You have
Cowboys,
you have the left
yeah.
tackle, you have the star receiver, you have the coach.
Yeah.
I think the coach isn't the problem. I think your GM's an
I
idiot,
mean,
but that's
you know, like I know you have an affinity for fellow bald man, Dable.
wow.
I'm not sold on him yet.
Well,
We'll
bald
see.
and a little heavier. I mean, I'm
We'll see.
getting there,
Hey,
but
he
hey.
did some Ozempic. He's looking good.
Yeah, maybe you
What's
should get on
everybody doing
Ozempic.
Everybody's doing
Everyone does
Ozempic.
Ozempic.
I guess it works, you know.
I guess that's
it works.
I guess that's the thing nowadays. Would you ever do Ozempic?
I don't need Ozempic, bro. I've been going
If
to the
you lose
gym.
your next bet, would you do the Ozempic?
Is that what the deal is?
No, I mean we can make it a deal. If you
Why don't
lose
we
a bet,
do
you
it? Why
Ozempic.
don't I fade one of your UFC picks and we'll do a little bet on that?
Okay, I'm
And-
feeling
wait,
feeling hot
and you
this
both
week.
are gonna have to
Simon.
do Ozempic.
Let's,
Our
we
bets
both going.
What does this have to do with us doing
Yeah,
Ozempic?
they're like, we're-
you lost the
like-
bet. I guess I gotta do Ozempic.
Yeah, you lost a bet. You have an eating disorder.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, exactly.
That's what you. That's a real punishment. We have to get creative.
Didn't people say Tua was
Yeah.
on Ozempic?
That probably bad idea for a NFL player.
Yeah,
to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we don't know the long-term effects to Ozempic, but we are a sports betting podcast. But I guess we could incorporate Ozempic in somewhere into our punishments.
That'd be a great look. They're making money hand over fist. Great sponsorship. If you can get an Ozempic,
If we could get Ozempic sponsorship, some
Make
peptides.
Vegas pay. Brought to you by Ozempic. That's great.
Yeah, it's something to look forward to. But all right, let's recap real quick. Let's finish up. Who do you think will win or is a title contender for the Super Bowl next year? Do you think the Chiefs will bounce back?
No,
We're gonna go around the table.
Yeah,
here.
I think we're seeing the downturn of it. Unless they, I mean, if they improve their like skill position players, and you have Mahomes, so you'll always probably be in it. But I think the Eagles are young, and all these like defensive linemen, all these Georgia guys they had. These are young guys. They're getting better every year. Defense is strong. They have, those players on the outside that aren't going anywhere, and they have Saquon. Saquon looks like he's going to be a stud for another, 5 years, despite what Joe Shane thought, that he was on the downswing of his career. I mean, it's clearly not.
What was it, Hard Knocks? He's like, yeah, Saquon, let's get fucking cut that
No,
loser.
he was like telling Saquon, he's like, go see what the market, gives out for you. So what, you guys, I want to be a Giant so bad, I'm just going to go back, whatever you match, screw that. So I don't blame him.
So you're going to pick the Eagles for next season?
I think the Eagles right now, but the Lions.
They're at like a plus 800 right now, right?
Really? That's a good bet.
I think they're. No,
it's just a long time to hold the future.
Or 700 plus. It's plus 700 minimum.
I'll bet you on that.
I'm just telling you the line. I'm not telling you.
I think it's like
you.
550 or something.
I'll bet the Lions. I like the Lions.
I like the Lions. To
Aiden Hutchinson will be back
get their
too.
stuff together.
Yeah. Dan Campbell also isn't going to allow that shit. I could just see him going off this offseason.
I can't wait to get to me for the Super Bowl stuff because there's one guy that's going to decide who's winning it.
All right, ready?
I want to
well,
hear
you're
it.
up next.
Let's hear it.
Get it, bald guy.
The one.
bald. My eyes.
Well, since he has requested a trade, Myles Garrett, I think where he lands will be the team that wins the Super Bowl.
So if he's a Giant,
yeah.
Well, no,
he's just
I'm talking about like Detroit, Buffalo, Green Bay. I don't know where he's going to land, but somebody like that. I think the Bills next year are going to win it again, and they're going to play my Green Bay Packers. That's my prediction right now. And the Chiefs have a little bit of like the Patriots, where they like aren't as good for a couple years.
Yeah.
They start losing.
I think the Chiefs are going exactly.
So Bills
in that.
Packers. That's my prediction.
Bills
Bills over my Packers.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think the Chiefs are going exactly in that couple of years swing. The Pats didn't win one for 10 years. They were still very competitive and always in the mix in those 10 years, but they didn't get through that hump and win it again. I'm surprised no one has said the Bengals. I think I think especially after how bad their defense was this year with Joe Burrow, the Bengals front office, they're not dumb. They know that they have. They
actually
cash
are
in.
dumb.
They know that they have to cash in.
Simon knows first-handedly that they're all stupid.
Simon goes heavy on bets and then loses and have to shave his head. So I'm going to listen to him.
But see what happens with T. Higgins, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, see what happens there.
Their defense is a disaster.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can fix that.
Yeah.
They're not going to fix it.
Get on there. Get on the field. You're bald now, so you can do whatever now. You have bald.
Yeah, I'm going to go play with Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I love that.
I would love to see you on the field. But
they should put me as one of the the
Did
kids
you ever play football, Simon?
Wasn't allowed to.
Yeah, same.
Jewish.
Same.
Wait, really?
Why is that a Jewish
Yeah.
thing?
No, it was. I mean,
Thank you, Dan.
I was, believe it or not, a pretty fast runner when I was a kid, and they were trying to get me to play football, in our town. They were trying to get me to play football.
Kid runs a great 40. Come on.
Hey, world-class speed. I had world-class speed.
Usain Bolt, get out of here.
Yeah, and my parents were like, you're playing baseball and basketball, they don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah,
So.
it's a Jewish thing. Apparently that and going to a doctor is a Jewish thing. Millions of people go to doctors. But according to Matt, it's a Jewish thing to go to a doctor.
It's his first month down here last year, whatever. And
I have a doctor who used to be a fucking lawyer.
He's like, I've asked 100 people and nobody has a doctor for me. I just need a new physician.
Let's,
and I'm like,
But that's crazy because
son,
there's so many doctors that are Jewish. The amount of Goldsteins I fucking have gone to see for getting anything fixed is crazy.
You got me?
Yeah.
Can you give a zoom in on Dan's water bottle? Yep. No.
Oh.
Turn it the other way.
What, that I crushed it?
Yeah.
What the hell is with you?
We're gonna do a little what's it called? Side by side for last week's with Simon's.
I haven't done shit this week with
Oh,
you.
yours was
They write
crushed
themselves.
too? Yours was crushed too?
They write
What,
themselves.
you drinking popsicle C4. You go to a gas station more than anybody I fucking know.
Yep.
I mean, that's a reasonable thing.
No.
Kid needs some
No,
energy.
you go to the man's house, Dan. He doesn't have any energy drinks
Oh,
there.
he
He's got
wants
to
to talk
stop
about
at a gas
houses.
station.
He wants to talk
It's
about
like
houses.
getting a
Mars.
in.
You could go off on Simon about houses.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to. It's disgusting.
You can go through it. It's okay.
No, we'll stay on top.
All right, we'll stay on topic.
All
We
right,
don't need to
Ray.
discuss your absolute train wreck of a house. Anyway.
Thanks.
All right, let's dive it back. Winnable, Dan. I want to know how it started, how it came to be.
Yeah.
How did this even?
Really interesting Genesis story, actually.
I want to hear it. We want to hear it all.
Yeah, so as you were saying, all Jews are either lawyers or doctors. As you guys know, I'm a lawyer. And actually, our friend Noah, who's CEO of Winnable, he had a previous creator platform that was more in the adult space. It was an OnlyFans competitor, and they were having they need some legal help. So he hit up his old friend and said, hey, I'll give you some equity. You want to help out? And man, was that a smart decision that I made, because they sold the company to Playboy. You can look it up. I don't need to tell you how much, but it was a nice day. And I called up Noah, and I'm just like, Noah, let's do this again. Like, let's just create another platform. And what a great, situation. And when we were starting to create the platform, we partnered up with some Stanford engineers, and we were both sports bettors and big sports fans. And we kind of saw, guys like you guys like coming up and starting to make this type of content. And we said, this is a good niche, right? We should dive into that. And we were one of the first companies that, now there's a couple of us, but we were one of the first that said, hey, like, just for sports handicappers, there should be a subscription-based content site, deal with all the payment processing issues, help get the content out, put it in a nice space, kind of like a Shopify for this type of content.
So basically, you just took the model that you guys were already doing for other platforms, like OnlyFans.
Yeah, generally.
And just using it as a subscription base, which, in my opinion, is probably the most profitable way to, at least.
Sure. I mean, that was originally, right? And then discovering the needs specifically of handicappers allowed us to dive in that, create a product that was for that, as opposed to just like a one-size-fits-all content creation subscription platform.
So it's now 2 years, correct?
About 2.5 years.
2.5 years. You went from zero. How many people do you currently have on your platform?
Yeah. So as far as cappers, there's been thousands that have tried, but that are monetizing daily, about 600, making money on our platform. And then users daily, we have about 250,000 a day.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, we need to get our numbers up, guys.
Yeah.
Well, you're part of it, right?
No, yeah,
your growth is our growth. So when I say now it's 300, it's because you guys now have 50, right? So
No, we have to continue the success together.
absolutely,
so,
absolutely, and that's our job, is to just support you guys. That's it.
And Dan, I ask you a quick question. I know what your biggest differentiators are in the space, but what would you say to the people who are on other platforms, or looking at other cappers on other platforms, why Winnable is the best platform? Like, I've been on it long enough to know it's a landslide in my opinion.
Thank you.
But want to hear from you what you think on that.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to the fact that we are only focused on handicappers. So that means all the success we have, we put it back in the business. It's not like we're all just hoarding money, right? We're putting
that'd be a Jewish joke from Matt there.
We're putting right. I know. I just teed that up, but
ready.
But yeah, so we're putting it back into the business and creating a product that's specifically for those needs. So whether it's having an easier way for affiliate, if we have the least friction checkout in the game, right? Like one click to Apple Pay. You can even have your website and it can go right to your checkout on Winnable. Conversion tools like that helps you make money. And that's really what differentiates us from the other platforms. The other platforms, I'm not going to name by name and give them any credit, but a lot of them aren't focused on anybody selling anything on the internet, right? Maybe a place that you guys came from when I first started talking to you. And when they're creating their product, they have to think about, okay, the Forex trader, is this good for them too? Is this good for the crypto guy? Is this good for the fitness coach? As opposed to us, where we just say, hey, is this good for a person selling sports picks and for people buying sports picks, period.
Yeah. I was going to say, you have anything else? Sorry.
No, I was going to say, Dan, you guys added the live betting for us.
Yeah.
You're always adaptable, mobile. You always have somebody responding.
Yeah, so you tell me what's the best part.
No,
you love the live betting.
I'm saying that Dan allowed us a platform to showcase what we're doing with live betting to like a free audience, getting 100 to 200 views minimally per post that we were doing on there, and then being featured as a live platform, also being able to directly work with the C-level team at Winnable and have an account rep day to day that we can actually talk to, which we never had before. There's still a lot of things we're working out right now, but in terms of just in general what you guys have offered us so far, it's above and beyond what we could ask for. So
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, you guys have killed it with your platform, and honestly, what we've been done, or at least have been able to do in the past, 6 months? Yeah, I have gum on my fucking.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about my water bottle.
Yeah, no, right over here.
Come on,
I have gum in the
show
back.
him the water bottle.
What? I put my gum on the back of a water bottle. All right. Ben before the show was like, I had the trash, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. It's easier. It's my bad. I just felt like I couldn't talk with the gum.
Shout out podcast junkies.
Yeah, shout out podcast junkies.
We
again.
love your water.
Shout out Mopsidol.
Yeah, shout out hijinks. We have to. All right, real quick. Can we transition off to
guys hear about the
bikini party?
What? Wait, so you guys?
Did
were
you guys
talking
go-
about- I didn't hear any. I didn't hear about
Oh
this.
boy.
Let's
I wanna hear
transition. We'll
about
get back to
it.
Winnable in a
No,
second.
no. Let's talk about fun stuff.
We'll get back. We'll get back to Winnable.
Bikini party sounds
I
good.
was at the bikini party for 12 hours, or maybe even more. I don't even
Yeah, I think
remember.
we were there for 14 hours. You're not proud of it. Great night, though. Let me tell you, got wild.
Got wild at the bikini party.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hula
I mean, it kind of
hooping.
turned into like low-key of a strip show.
Wow.
I
in the
saw a
middle
strip
of
show in the
Jake's.
parking lot.
Yeah,
awesome.
Simon and I both walked in there and we're like, oh, look at the girl.
Tits!
Yeah, we're like,
who?
there's a girl naked.
Outside,
Wow.
while
There
a car
was.
was driving.
You missed it, Dan.
Well, I didn't say that better. I did not see that.
No, you
better.
didn't.
They just,
We didn't
there was
see
just
it.
tits out.
and this is also why
Hi.
your wife hates when you go to hijinks.
That's true.
You're not allowed
Wait,
to.
can we not? Can we cut that?
Ben,
This happens every time I go to hijinks.
Damn it.
There's tits
What do you mean?
everywhere.
I've never been there before.
what is this
You're like,
place?
God,
This thing?
God, I love this place.
But yeah, it was also like a fake bikini party because they were wearing jean shorts. So yeah.
Yeah, when you think of a bikini party, you think of the bikini top and the bikini bottom, and there wasn't a lot of bikini bottoms going on
no,
there.
none. Actually, there was
So-
some wearing sweaters and stuff. It was weird. I don't know.
It was a cold night.
I don't know.
We won't make a comment on that, but
There will be a revamped bikini party coming soon.
there needs to be a re-ramped. I think there needs to be
We got
more.
a pool out there. We'll do a little car wash. You know.
I think a car wash, a bikini car wash is the next step
Yes.
right here.
Yes.
Hosted by Winnable. Dan
Yeah.
won't be in
Winnable and
attendance.
MVP.
No, I mean,
a
course.
co-branded
Look,
event.
If we're hosting, I have to show up.
If your wife's watching,
business.
Dan
It's
will not be
business.
there.
It's business.
It's business.
Look,
Babe,
he's
it's
like, it's business, right?
Shut up, Ray.
That's the first co-branded MVP and winnable event.
that's our first
we'll do
event.
the bikini. Yeah, we'll raise money for charity.
We'll do
It'll be good.
a bikini car wash for our first Cobra because we've talked about co-hosting events with. So
That
I think
sounds like a good one.
I think a bikini car wash, guys, for our first
Yeah,
event.
charity.
For charity.
For kids. For
Charity.
kids.
For
For kids.
For
the
yes,
kids.
We're doing it for the kids at the end of the day. But yeah, Saturday night was crazy. We wish you were there at the bikini party.
Let's talk UFC though.
Yeah, no, UFC was a little rough one for me on Saturday. I didn't like the card realistically. Yeah, my lock of the week, Cody Steele, fucking 2-time world champion Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. World champion decided to fucking stand and bang with a literal striker that has no ground game. Beyond me, I'm not too sure. Sometimes when you get in the pocket, I guess people just like slinging dicks, and this guy just wanted to sling fucking dicks. And yeah, it is what it is. He got fight of the night. Fight was great, but I was fucking screaming at the TV, take him down. But it is what it is. Lost the lock. And then I did Jack Jenkins for the underdog, and he won the first round, dropped him, and then just completely gassed out and whatever. The card ended up being absolute shit show leading up to the main event, which Strikers ended up winning a unanimous decision against Sean Strickland, which I did have 3 units on. But leading up to it, it wasn't the best card. I think time zone in Australia played a lot into it, at least for the UFC, and a couple other things as well. But at the end of the day, we're finally back in Vegas this coming week for UFC Fight Night. I actually feel like for betting MMA and UFC, it's actually more profitable during a fight night because you have young prospects that at least the odds makers sometimes slip up on it. But as long as you do your research and kind of delegate where they're training, who they've trained with, their style, etc., all that shit, it makes it's easier for you to pick apart. So and do proper analysis to bet for.
So can I ask you a betting question with UFC? Because I
let's
really
do it.
don't bet a lot of
Yeah,
UFC.
yeah.
So are you looking mostly at like the fighter and you're finding like edges in the lines, or are you like my point being, okay, I think this guy's going to win, but you're really not, you're laying off of it unless there's like a true money edge. Like it's like, wow, this guy should not be plus 500. And that's why I'm definitely taking him because it's that close. Or are you just saying, you know what, it's a pick 'em like when you're doing UFC?
It's all about the odds, realistically. I mean, if I see somebody that's around, I give it minus 200 to minus 300. If I'm super confident, maybe I'll throw them in a parlay. But I have to dive into kind of the stylistic matchup and who they're fighting. So if it's usually a striker versus a grappler, which was the Cody Steele versus the Rongzhu, the Chinese guy, it was clear cut. Rongzhu did not have any form of not any form. He's a mixed martial artist, but he doesn't excel in that sport. Meanwhile, Cody Steele, who decided to sling dicks, is a 2-time world champion grappler who literally excels in the grappling department.
But didn't take him down
at all. So in my head, usually with a striker versus grappler, I'm usually going to edge towards the grappler, but that all entails credentials. The credentials were night and day compared to the two, but sometimes when you're fighting, you can't really predict things like that. But I usually look at the stylistic matchups before I do the odds, because if I see the odds, sometimes it sways your opinion on how it's going to go. So I usually like seeing who's fighting first, and then I just, knowing the fighter in general and how they fought, who they fought, I make my assumption prior where I'm like, okay, at least I make my pick. I don't dive into logistics in terms of how they're going to win or whatever, the outcome. I just pick who my fighter is, and then I dive down, and then I see the odds, and I start dissecting why the odds are like that, if that makes sense. Yep. And that's usually how I determine my fighter and my pick per se.
So Ray, speaking of like handle data and stuff, you mentioned the UFC fight nights. Those are definitely less bet on events. For me, for NFL, for prime time, except this season, which was terrible, usually fade the public's a good strategy. Like, what type of handle data and stuff do you look at, and why would a fight night be a better bet to bet on than a main card where you can go to hijinks and be like, all right, 90% of the people in here are betting on, X fighter. I'm going to go fade them and fade against the public, because at the end of the day, we all know the books are always up. So that's a little different for NFL, but wanted to hear from you how that works for UFC.
Yeah, you kind of nailed it. Like the UFC main cards, like UFC 312s, UFC 313s, like those are the prime time per se for NFL, for UFC. So more general public will be betting on, at least the main cards, because specifically from fighters and marketing, where socials and the UFC push certain people to, at least they bring in 2 prospects or, people that have title contentions to fight each other. So it could be a coin flip depending on how the UFC wants to push a certain person. There's some times where they do push a prospect and it's almost like, all right, I know what the UFC's fucking doing here. They're putting in a guy who's young, which was actually Cody Steele, a young undefeated fighter against a guy who's just a journeyman, and they put that fight together on purpose due to the fact that you have a elite grappler versus a guy who's just
loving the passion with the Cody Steele.
No, because it just happened because I'm also fucking mad he lost, dude. I had so much money on him. Fuck. He went from a fucking minus 220 to a minus 370 within 24 hours. I go, everyone was laying action on this guy. Everyone's like looking into him.
That seems like the professionals were betting on that way. Yeah. If it moved like that,
in 24 hours from a minus 220 to a minus 370. So not just me, everyone was seeing it. I was just, one of the first to kind of like, oh, Cody Steele, what a fucking, it's ridiculous matchup. I go, the UFC's
next time
pushing.
we'll get him. We're going to hammer Cody Steele next time.
No, he lost. I'm not. I'm never betting on Cody Steele again. Go fuck
He's on the
guy.
ban list. It's like what we do for NFL.
Yeah, no, he's on the ban list. But he'll probably win. But in terms of what was your question again? I hate Cody Steele.
I was asking about the handle data, like how it looks for prime time for NFL. We know how that works.
So I kind of answered it when Dan asked the question. Is I look at least the fight nights are different because they're trying to build fighters. So they put in these young prospects or people that are young in the organization that maybe have a win or one loss. So relatively, in terms of the knowledge and the odds makers, their odds aren't as are correct compared to somebody in a main card where they fought for the promotion for over 10 years and you've seen them fight a bunch of different people, styles. So it's easier to kind of be like, okay, I see where this fight's going to go, rather than a guy who fought once in the UFC and lost by knockout, but he has a great wrestling pedigree. So how does he match up fair with a great young prospect striker? We don't know, and the odds makers don't know, which makes it more compelling and easier to bet on those fights as long as you do your research. So, and did did the guy get caught, or is he is he excelling in a certain area? You never know. Fighting is you just have to dive in logistically, really, really deep. And I love the sport. I've been doing it for so long, so it's like
we're excited that you're a part of it. And I was gonna ask Dan, like, with NFL ending and UFC having that primetime spot on Saturday,
let's make some money.
How would you say the other creators and Winnable is pushing MMA now? Because I see it as a big market, and I'm happy to have Ray on the team now to really explode the UFC content and picks that we're doing. But just curious from a Winnable perspective, what you guys are doing with the UFC.
Yeah, so it's obviously, like you said, it's once a week, and it's prime time, so it's event driven, and we see a lot of betting is occurring based on event driven. Oh, I'm going out to the bar with my friends. I want to bet on this game, right?
You're guilted into it.
What the creators are doing, very similar to what they do at the start of NFL season or the start of any season, selling a specific package for UFC, right? Here are all my UFC picks for the year, or specific fight card. Like, people are selling like a fight card. That is, that's a good way for a creator to make some money.
Yeah, I'm going to utilize it moving forward too. I know we've kind of been, diving into the NFL a little bit. I've been, at least with Sweiss, he's been helping me with the NFL, and even Mons a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting tougher and tougher. There's so many more sharps than there used to be.
Well, the sharps the books had a terrible year. It was since 2012 December, or like overall, I think. What was the number again?
No, since it was in the last 12 years. December, or was it December?
I think
December
was
the first losing month that a book has had, or that Vegas had in like 12 years. And I mean, just as a whole, that
historically,
was
when they first started sports books, I was talking to a guy who was like an executive at Caesars, and he said the sports book was always a loss leader for them. Like,
and then they started juicing up the lines.
Vegas, right? And it was just to get people there, but they're making money off the other, casino games.
But when you go play the slots.
But I think there's so much information, right? There's smart cappers who are utilizing positive EV and statistics and finding edges. And now that there's more choices in books.
When's the time you've had a bet that has made them pay?
Well, hold on. I mean, I've had big wins, but I've had big wins, but I am going to talk about something this week that I was so positive I was winning, and Vegas actually made me pay. That was the Lamar Jackson future that I bet in the beginning of
Josh Allen said
before
go
the
fuck
season
yourself.
started. I bet Lamar Jackson. It
was close.
No, but I'm pissed because I bet it before the season started. Good amount of money. It was a really nice take home. It was like with like a profit boost. It was like plus 1,000. And once he won first team All Pro, I was like, this is a lock. Like, he is the MVP. And I should have hedged. Like, I could have hedged it by betting, finding a market to take some Josh Allen, because it was obviously one of the two. Instead, I was just so sure that, like, that night, I'm like, oh, great, it's February 6th.
You're going to make some money.
Making $2,000 today. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, that's a terrible feel. I honestly thought Lamar Jackson was going to win too. I didn't expect Josh.
Yeah,
Allen
I was
at all.
shocked. I was actually shocked. But
good for Josh. Lamar's won it a couple times.
But
just
the line closed for Lamar at like minus 195 too.
Yeah,
something.
Well,
He was
especially,
a big
and then even like Hard Rock took it off the market once Lamar won first team All Pro. Like, it was pretty much a certainty. And these bettors are weird.
They suck.
Yeah,
Hard Rock sucks.
weird voters this year. Because it's the same voters. So you were voting Lamar to be first team quarterback, but somehow Josh is the MVP. They play the same position. I don't get it. But
Yeah, no, I was very confused, but also I did believe Josh Allen had enough to win.
he had a great year.
He did have a great year. Do you agree?
Oh, and the Bills. We didn't talk about the Bills. Do they have a shot?
That's his.
I said
the Bills?
I think they go make a move for Garrett, actually.
Yeah.
So you just think whoever
No, if he goes to like the Lions or one of these contenders, like, he is that good. Like, he has been the Browns for the last 8 years, or whatever he's on the team. I'm glad he requested a trade. Also, Cooper Kupp's on the market too.
Yeah,
we got a lot to talk about over the next couple. NFL is so year round now that the draft for your Giants, Patriots will be an interesting draft, and then free agency, and then we're right into it. But I mean, we still got UFC though, so I'm excited we have that.
Yeah, no, I finally get
and
to
NBA.
Yeah, NBA
and Luka.
Yeah.
Now the NBA really like picks up after the All-Star break. Now like the teams that are tanking, they're gonna stop trying to compete, and you have like your playoff teams like my Knicks that you're hoping
You're gonna
to
get demolished by Matt's Celtics. So
I mean, if you look at the 2 games we played this year, you'd say that for sure. But it's so weird. Like Tatum against the Knicks, he cannot miss a shot.
No,
I don't know if you
he's
saw
not-
last night.
I did.
Last night he could not make. Last
they
night
played him again last
no,
night.
no. Last night he played and he couldn't make a shot. It was just like something about the Knicks just lights him up. Like
New
he's
York,
just,
Boston. It's
yeah,
classic.
he's just ready to go. Like he can't
Aren't
be
we
stopped.
aligned right now for them to play in the playoffs?
Yeah, second round. It would be the second round
That would be
if it ended.
Well, yeah, the Cavs are the one, right?
yeah, and the Cavs don't look like they're gonna lose many games.
No, they're good. They're
Yeah.
good.
But I
mean,
still like
it
Boston.
still is Boston.
I still like
championship to
Boston
lose.
in the playoffs against them.
So we're all in agreement that Boston will probably win the NBA championship.
Yeah, they're
against
supposed
their
to.
championship.
I mean,
to
pending
lose.
like, look, NBA is weird, right? Like these guys, they play so many games, and it's a pretty physical sport. Injuries happen, knock on wood. I don't want to root for that for Boston.
Well, AD already went
but
down.
obviously,
for the Mavs.
yeah,
You
but
could- you could
obviously,
tell 'em you
but
hope they
obviously,
get
if like
shot, you know
Jason
what I mean?
Tatum, like tore his ACL, then that's a different story for Boston, right? They could lose Kristaps.
All right,
but,
let's not go into injuries.
I'm just saying. My point is
He
that
could randomly get
my
hit by a
point
bus.
is
you know?
it'll be what you got to
Kareem
see
Hunt, though,
is
it's okay.
Yeah,
who's
okay.
healthy who's healthy going into the playoffs. Like that is such an
I mean, the
important
Celtics
part.
are so deep. I think they'll be fine. Honestly, I'd love to see Celtics Lakers.
Of course,
Well,
especially
everyone with
Luka.
Luka, yeah.
The Lakers, I'm just like, why? Why do they keep getting away with this? Like, why do they?
They
just
gave up
keep-
like no draft
I
picks.
know.
It made no
they
sense.
just always get somebody.
It's like the Walter White. They can't keep getting away
Yeah.
with this, man.
It's technically, I hate to say, it's not America's basketball team, but it is. Unfortunately,
I don't know.
it's like almost like the Cowboys for the NFL.
Yeah, they
It's
just
like
have-
America's team.
Not
for the
anymore,
NFL.
they ain't.
Well, no, they're not, but they never were. But
The Cowboys.
Yeah, the
It's just
Cowboys
in like the
for the
90s.
NFL.
I
in
think
the
Jerry
90s.
Jones is losing his mind. Speaking of Dallas,
Yeah.
yeah, no, he's over there. He's probably going to massage parlors. Who knows?
But Simon, I got a question
Very
for you.
Robert
So
Kraft.
Sure.
it's been obvious now. The last 2 NFL seasons have not gone the way the books have wanted them to.
Yeah.
Especially this one. Last year, I'd say, like a normal NFL season, it's like 70-30 in favor of the books. Last year, I'd say it was probably 60-40. This year was so public. When do you think the books are going to get their lick back? Is it March Madness? Or is it going to be next NFL season when lines are just going to be sharp as shit and the average Joe is going to get smoked?
I think one thing people are underestimating about this NFL season is how they, like, when you kicked it off, now you get it at the 30. And for the overs, at least, I think that had a big effect. I think the lines will adjust. I think we had a lot of these primetime games, just there was no dogs, and I think that'll just revert back. Sometimes you have these years once every 12 years, but I'm sure March Madness, I mean, I watched college basketball like 2 weeks ago or just looked at the lines. It was all underdogs. So if that's what we're getting in March Madness, like, 2 months before, I haven't really seen that before where it was literally been all underdogs. So I think March Madness, they'll get their money back. And then NBA, NHL playoffs. But yeah, March Madness, I would say, starting with the conference tournaments. But yeah, I'm interested to see how they adjust the over-unders because I feel like there was a lot more scoring, especially in prime time. People getting the ball at the 30 versus the 25, I think, made a massive impact. And all these teams now are going for it on 4th down. Like the Commanders were like, I don't even know what, 70% of the time or something.
Dan Campbell set a blueplint out.
Yeah.
Well, how about
Fuck
the
it.
Chiefs did not even attempt an extra point?
Yeah.
Super
Harrison
Bowl.
Butker,
Did you
what
see
the
the
hell?
guy that there was a
Tough,
guy who put
tough.
like $2,500 on like a minus 1,000 bet that there would be one extra point.
Now, my question to you is, Dan,
wasn't.
when you see those on FanDuel and DraftKings, I mean, for everybody,
Yeah.
do you think those are real, some of these
Yeah,
bets?
they're real.
All
I mean,
of them, really?
they
We
are-
talked about
here's
this,
the thing.
too.
There's
Yeah, I
so
know.
many.
I don't know, right?
There's so many people betting now. Like, just everybody has access to it. Any sports fan that's a serious sports fan is throwing something, even if it's $10, something like that. So they just find these wild plays that people make.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. And also, it seems like, Dan, are you guys getting a lot of, like, female audience now on the Winnable?
I wouldn't say a lot, but we're definitely more. Like, we do have female cappers. People are getting into the space. I saw a funny meme today where someone was like, why can't women be feminine again? They're actually sending out parlays, and I'm like, oh no, and like they've infiltrated every space. But I think it's great. I think that if there's more talent, interest from from the female population. It's good for everyone.
Yeah, how funny is it during the Super Bowl too? There's the girl who was with us at the part that was there at the party was just like, yeah, I think Mahomes is gonna fumble here. Literally fumbles. She's like, yeah. She goes, yeah, Chiefs are gonna score here. Score. We're like, who the fuck are you? And she's like, can I put a bet in? Like, I'm like, you know how much money you would have won if you just put both those.
She was just making up bets. You can't even put it on.
No, but what I'm saying is there was no emotional tie to it. So in terms of like, this has happened to me before, where you're just like ask a girl where they know no knowledge of sports betting or or
I mean,
sport
we had
in general,
bets. We had
and they
bets.
just say anything and it just fucking hits. You're like, what's going on?
I mean, there's a 50-50 show. You got national anthem over under. You got the coin toss. You got the Gatorade color.
It's insane. It's insane how many bets. But like you said, Dan, the sports betting, at least population as well as the industry, has grown tremendously over the past couple years, and of course has helped your platform Winnable.
We chose the right industry. It's like I compare it. It's like buying cannabis farms in 2014. It's like this is the industry now that's popping. You can't watch ESPN without a ticker showing the lines. You can't talk about a game without the lines. So
even the announcers, when they're not allowed to bring it up.
No, they're
this
like,
extra point's real important to some people
for
here.
somebody. Yeah, for someone. I wonder who.
And then actually, speaking of the Super Bowl, real quick, Ray, I want to just another bad read by me. I was just pissed off and kept taking the under of the game.
I did too.
At 49.5 live. And then they just kept scoring, and then for some reason the Eagles went for him like 4th and 6 with Kenny Pickett, and our friend had, what was the box, 4-1 or 4-4 or something?
No, it was what was it, 4-0?
4-0, and they went for a 4th and 6, and then Mahomes threw the bomb, and he lost the box on that.
That actually happened to my friend David, who you guys know as well. He had a box that was like 0-0.
Oh, poor David.
And that was on the 2-point conversion that they got at the end of the game is how he lost his box. But
Jesus.
Yeah. No, but I actually heard, speaking of like the books and not winning, BetMGM said that the Super Bowl was their biggest win ever. That game,
I did see that.
The way that game
played out.
You know why? Because of the Kelsey and the Saquon.
Yeah.
I sent down Saquon's under. That was easy.
Everyone took Kelsey anytime touchdown.
Yeah, and there were a lot of
Saquon
sharp people on the Chiefs. Like there were even a lot of sharp bettors that were sure that the Chiefs were going to win, and it was definitely not the case.
It was part of the group.
Yeah.
It was an interesting NFL season, to say the least. But let's put it this way: I think it's going to tee up, and going back to your question, Mons, and you, Simon, I do think that the books will be back the next NFL season. I think it's one of those where you just got to take 1 year on the chin, and then
it's like the financial crisis. It's once every
it happens.
It's the book crisis of 2024.
Well, it's for the books.
It was a COVID year for the books, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to say it's because platforms like Winnable are the reason why people are winning.
There you go. There it is, Dan. There it is.
Without Winnable, none of this would be possible.
Yeah.
So, but no, I want to thank, as we wrap up, any last words that you want to say about Winnable, where to find you, at least people, new cappers that are getting into sports betting, where they could find you. How do they sign up to Winnable?
Winnable.com. I mean, most likely the way you're going to find us is following someone on social media, seeing that their link goes to Winnable. But you know what? If anyone's listening and you're not subscribed yet to Make Vegas Pay, you are missing out, because I will tell you, I follow their picks. They are sharp as hell, bald head aside, and you will win money. In the long term, you'll win money.
Maybe the bald head really starts to turn around here.
Remember what Sirianni did when he shaved his fucking head? They went, what were they, 0-2, and then fucking they just,
like
after
one out.
then Sirianni
All
shaved
right,
his
we
head.
got college basketball picks tonight. We're going to start rolling them in, baby.
The bald head has changed absolutely everything. But no, we want to thank you so much, Dan, for joining us this episode and telling us a little bit more about Winnable. We're happy to be on your platform as Make Vegas Pay, as we move forward with you guys on the platform and make a lot of money and make sure all of our clients do as well as we move forward here. So that is our show. I want to thank, of course, Dan, representing Winnable, as well as Sweiss, who shaved his head bald, and of course Mons, who literally got sideswiped and comes back and just absolutely
T-boned.
You got fucking T-boned, bro.
Nailed some bitch. Don't pull out of a stop sign. Just don't.
I hope she's listening to this
If you're
show.
taking out of,
I hope she's okay.
English.
I hope she's okay.
She literally does not speak. Dan, she does not speak any English.
but yeah, that's been our show. No.
I don't know where to go. No notes.
Yeah, no notes. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning into the MVP show. Like, subscribe, and follow us, guys. We're gonna have another killer week, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.